up, guys? We got a watch to go over. Built it last night. Okay, Google, volume 1.5. Built it last night for my buddy Mark. A little bit of a work in progress. He wanted a super special crown, and that was the one thing holding it up. But I got it, and the build is now done. So what we've got is your classic radio room dial, the white and red. And if you are not familiar with the radio room dial, so back when the Titanic happened, there was so much radio chatter that nobody got their distress calls. So it's been, I don't know if it's nationally or like locally, I think it is, adopted that during this 3-minute time every 15 minutes, there's complete radio silence in case there's an SOS going. So those are your time frames on every 15 minutes for 3 minutes to be quiet and listen. So that's a radio room dial. We did it in a brushed case. We did a high polished shark tooth bezel. And where that's nice is the SS we used is brushed with high polish down the center. So these tie in nicely together here. You had to have a red crown, which is cool. The anchor engraved red crown. Red going with the red on the dial. And then to tie in some nice black, we did a black insert that has on the 15s in red as well, which goes well with the radio room dial. And it has the additional silver accents on the 5-minute markers. So custom black handset. And then we did a hand-painted silver hand that has red paint fill tip on there. So that's his dial. We did a large window exhibition caseback, stainless steel movement holder in there, black rotor. And then we did an Amphibia logo on a bead blasted clasp to go with the dial. So that's his build as a whole. He already knows this, but in case you don't know, Vostoks come with a movable bezel that's held on with a tension ring. You can turn it left, you can turn it right. There's no clicking. You can only set them to be a little bit harder to turn. So I got this on decently hard to turn. You have to want to turn it to turn it. So these are automatic mechanicals, but I'm not wearing them to keep the time and then make sure they're good. So what I do is I wind them up at night and make sure they're good the next day. So before you wear a watch, if it's run down a bit, make sure you unscrew the crown. When it comes off the tubes, you're going to feel it clicking. And just give it some winds for a good 4 or 5 seconds. That'll make sure, even if you're not very active, it's going to keep time. And I go back and forth because it's a lot easier to just kind of slightly hold it off of it and go back and forth with it than it is to do single turns one direction. I can do the same amount, going just as quick back and forth. Granted, maybe not as big a turns on there. Okay, so if you do it for closer to like 20-25 seconds, you're going to max out your 31-hour power reserve, but you'll never know when you should stop winding because you can't hurt the mainspring. It's got reversers that kick in, so you can just sit there and wind all day if you want. But if you do it closer to 25 seconds like this, you're going to max out your 31-hour power reserve. You're going to pull that out to the one and only click, and you will notice you kind of pull back as you're setting your time, and it's not a hacking movement. Hold on. Keep getting messages. So you're going to kind of hold back and set it. Sometimes that second hand will kick, sometimes it won't. Some of mine do, some of them don't. It's weird. See how that time is not doing it? So sometimes they kick, sometimes they don't. You just slightly pulling back. You'll notice you get a wobble crown. It deflects lateral pressure on the movement. It goes back and forth. Man, I'm getting blown up on messages right now. Same guy. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 10:47 a.m.
And then it makes it nice and easy to push it right back over. Oh, so that wobble crown deflects lateral pressure on the movement by not traveling through the stem into the movement. So it deflects. So nice design feature that's got on there. Also, with every build I do, it comes with matching beads. And for his, I happen to have a silicone on hand that matches really nicely. So throwing that in with it as well. And with every build, you're going to get a custom box. Since this is a vostok mod, I went with one of my old style vostok boxes in red. Here's his personalized build and warranty cards that he gets. Whenever I can do them ahead of time, I already know what to put on there. So also, with every build, you're going to get some watch cleaners. This is good on all metal and glass parts, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. You're going to get leather conditioner when applicable. We have no leather here, so no worries there. And this is an acrylic, so you can scratch it. I throw in some fine scratch remover, which is Novus 2 repackaged from Amazon. If you get a scratch down it, put a little bit on there, buff against the scratch, fill it, generate some heat with your thumb behind a microfiber, and in about 15 seconds of buffing it, it will be completely gone. So that is the build. If you want to see more builds like this, like and subscribe, and maybe I can build you something cool sometime soon. So thanks for hanging out, and I'm sure I just mentioned it, but I'm getting blown up with messages, so I forget what I've said. So like and subscribe if you want to see more. I do these every day. Appreciate you guys.